Hi, I'm Matt Collins. I'd like to welcome you to Bob Weber Auto Mart on Douglas Avenue here in Racine, across from Douglas Park. We specialize in 1-year-old, low mileage, almost new cars. And if you'd like to stop by and see them, or see them on our website, bobweberautomart.com, we could save you between $5,000 and $10,000 on your next almost new car purchase.
Welcome into another edition of Sports Junkies. Time for some Packet Talk. I'm Steve Sparky Fifer from Sports Radio 1250 WSSP. Here is the star of the video from last week, Gery Woelfel from the Racine Journal-Times. How you doing, Gary?
You just don't waste any time, do you?
No.
You remember Norman Vincent Peale wrote a book about, winning friends, influencing people, winning friends? You should really read that, Hey, we're not even 5 seconds into the show and you come out blasting me.
I'm not blasting you. I'm just saying you're the star of last week's show.
You know what I did learn, though? I've over the years have really a profound respect for people that do radio and television, because if you slip up, you're going to get nailed.
That's it.
And I said Rodgers should be a man and play on Sunday. And I meant it in the context that if he was like 80%, 90%, it's up to him to play.
Right.
And all of a sudden, it's like all these people are saying, hey, I'm questioning his manhood because it wasn't taken in the right context.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, it is.
You can't, no. You can make that statement when it's a quote in the newspaper, and when you're reading the article, you don't know what this is. This is a video, man. Watch the whole video. You can't take anything in a video out of context, man.
No. I said I would have really reworded that totally different. I've been to countless Packer games over the years. I've been on the sidelines. I respect any professional athlete because they have incredible courage. I mean, if you play pro football, have you ever been on the sidelines of an NFL game? You see the violence, the speed. You don't question whether they're manhood. So you don't get to the NFL by being a wimp. What I'm saying is, though.
So the skirt you sent Rodgers last week, was it green or was it yellow? No? Okay, let's talk about coming up the Packers' next game is against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes. Okay, so and if we would have had a good copy editor like they do in most series, they would have snipped it out. But no. But anyways, let's go. Move on. I said it. I stand by it.
Yep. All right, so he wasn't a man
in the context of what it was meant to be.
So he wasn't a man last
week. I apologize to Aaron Rodgers if by any chance he saw that.
Right.
Because there is no disrespect, obviously. And you know this for a fact. I have always said he could be one of the greatest quarterbacks ever, and I still believe it.
Yeah.
So it's not an issue of manhood. That was
right.
You know what? If I was an NFL coach, I'd say that was taken out of context.
No, it wasn't. But since he wasn't a man last week and he didn't play, according to you,
I did not. Let's.
That's what you said.
No, I said if he would have been 80-90%. That's what I meant to say. Okay.
But we don't know what the percentage is.
Right, and that's what really ticks me off, and it ticks off a lot of people, not only in the media but Packer Nation. There's no transparency with what's going on. They're making a big deal. Like you mentioned this on the Big Show last week. The guy goes out and practices with the first team. Afterwards, his teammates come out and said he looks great. He looks like the Aaron Rodgers of old. And all of a sudden, he can't play. And then if the other thing that was really irritating was the press conference with McCarthy. McCarthy's usually pretty even keel. One guy asked him, was he medically clear? And he goes ballistic. And you could tell something happened in that meeting that morning before the press conference that really, really must have ticked him off.
Well, either way. So Rodgers doesn't play. You're getting crushed at halftime. Flynn and the defense gets a couple of turnovers, and they come rolling back in the second half. It's one of the more impressive comebacks. I don't care if you want to talk about Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, whoever, that I've seen this Packers team put on.
Well, I totally agree. I watched the game probably with about 25, 30, quote, Packer fans, right? And a lot of these people have watched games since Vince Lombardi, okay?
So you were with a lot of old people.
I was with a lot of old, but a lot of young people too. And they agreed that it was one of the best Packer games. I mean, I was trying to think the last game I remember the Packers playing that was so riveting, and that was the Giants-Packers playoff game.
Yeah.
That went right down to the wire into the overtime or whatever. But this game, and the other thing, for a lot of people from my generation, there's a Packer-Bear rivalry, there's a Packer-Viking rivalry, so forth. But the real rivalry is with the Cowboys. It goes back to when Starr played against Tom Landry and all those guys. And to beat the Cowboys, to a lot of these people, meant the world to him.
Did you like the chant that the players were saying in the locker room after the game, the Packers?
No.
They were chanting our house after the game in their locker room.
Yeah.
Packers were fired up after this game. And, everybody talks about, well, will there be that emotional letdown coming up this week, home against Pittsburgh, snow in the forecast. And I agree with McCarthy. McCarthy said, hey, look, they know they got to win the next two to get in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So we're not in a position where there can be an emotional letdown. They know how important these next two games are. Now, if that Cowboy game comes in week 5, then I'd be very concerned about week 6. Mm-hmm. But because it comes so late and you're coming home with a home fan base, snow, everything else, I think they're going to be okay against Pittsburgh. Even if Matt Flynn starts, I still think
I think the snow is irrelevant. I mean, Pittsburgh's plays in cruddy conditions as well over the years, so that's not going to have any bearing. And Pittsburgh is a good enough organization that they can play anywhere.
And they've won 4 of the last 6.
And the Lambeau mystique has really gone out the window over the years. I mean, people can come into Green Bay and win. But it's going to be interesting. Either that snowball's going to keep rolling, or like you said, they're going to have an emotional letdown. I really believe Rodgers is playing Sunday.
No way.
Okay, and this the reason is
Can I say something quick? I don't think he plays the rest of the year.
Well, that came out about 3-4 weeks ago. Who was it?
Ian Rappaport.
Right, he reported that the Packers.
But he said they were having internal discussions about possibly shutting him down. What I'm saying is, I don't know if they've had internal discussions or not. That's on them. They know that, not I. I just don't think he's healthy enough.
Well, you know what? And it was interesting. Monday, remember when McCarthy had his press conference, and they were talking about the injury report? He said he and the team doctor did not even talk about Aaron Rodgers. So I'm thinking, like, okay, exactly. And right then and there I go, okay, they made this decision last week. Rodgers is shut down. That's why everybody got upset. Rodgers got upset. McCarthy got upset. But
he's no longer taking first-team snaps this week.
But I have been told by 2 very good sources that Rodgers claims the odds are very good that he's going to play Sunday. He's telling these people this. Now, why? If he was told to shut it down, why wouldn't he tell people that he knows well?
He's not told to shut it down.
Huh?
He hasn't been told to shut it down. Rodgers?
Yeah, I thought that's what we agreed on.
No.
That he won't play.
I said, right, he won't play. Doesn't mean he doesn't want to play. Doesn't mean
no.
He doesn't think he can play.
I agree, but he's telling.
But I'm telling you as well. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And they hold up that X-ray. Collarbone, crack, right?
Yeah.
There's still a crack. I don't care if they're 80. He's 80% or 85%.
See,
if he's not 100%, they're not clearing him to go
yeah.
play. And I don't think he can get to 100% before that Bears game. So I think the next 2 weeks for sure, I think are going to be on Matt Flynn. Now, if I'm wrong, fine. I'll be happy to be wrong. I want to see Rodgers play. I just don't think he's close enough. I really don't. And they made the mistake of appeasing Rodgers, right? Mm-hmm. To go, fine, go out there, we'll give you some snaps in practice, if you think you're good enough.
No, that's ridiculous.
And because now this week, after taking first-team snaps last week, Gary, this week now he's not taking first-team snaps. Now he's only taking second-team snaps.
Yeah, but
what changed? Did he get worse?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So from that perspective, I think they did it just to throw a bone at Rodgers to keep him quiet for a little while. And now they're sitting here going, okay.
I don't think so. I don't think they play games like that. I really don't. I think that's pretty cut and dry. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But
can they beat Pittsburgh with Flynn?
Sure they can. I mean, Pittsburgh's been erratic all season.
Can they beat the Bears with Flynn in Chicago?
No. I would be very, very doubtful about that.
See, and I agree with you. They need Rodgers back for the Bears game if they're going to win that game. Because if he's not back, I don't think they can win in Chicago.
But then you're rolling the. I mean, I would play Rodgers anytime, period. Okay, but you're also rolling the dice. He's been out. That'll be 6-7 weeks when he comes back. You just wonder how in sync he is going to be with that team. No,
that's a great point. No question about it. He is Gery Woelfel of the Racine Journal-Times. You're taking the Packers to win, right?
I am. Yeah.
As am I. We'll talk to you next week, and we'll see if Aaron Rodgers was a man this week. Joking, of course.
In our last other video.
It's a joke.
It's a joke.
I'd say it's a joke. Now, what he said last week, that's on him.
And of course, the people that put this on our website will say, Woelfel calls Rodgers not a man again.
Here's Gery Woelfel, Steve Sparky, Fifer. We'll talk to you next time on Sports Junkies.
I love French journalism.
Where we do back talk here at RacineSportsZone.com.